welcome to the podcast. Today's title is The Secret to Over a 50% Sales Jump in 2026 and Why Most Businesses Miss It. We have the forum here ready. We have our expert panel with Jason DeSamba, entrepreneur and VP of Brand Strategy and partner at Okano Digital, our marketing agency.
Hey guys, nice to be here. Really excited to just pick apart things, and this topic is really interesting, right? I mean, any business owner is going to want, hey, 50% growth. So I think there's going to be a lot of interesting things that we're going to unpack today.
Yeah, we also have Paul Robertson, our media expert and partner at Media Growth Gurus, our media division.
Hey guys, nice to be here. Good to talk to you all.
All right, and we have a special guest, Jonathan Peel from New Orleans. He actually manages several parks over there.
Hey guys, thank you so much for inviting me to be on this. I'm really excited to talk to the team today. And yeah, everybody loves growth, so that's what we're aiming for in 2026 and every day.
That's right. So to go back to this topic, I really like it because we have a lot of conversation with customers, and I would like, before we start the discussion, and you can jump in and tell me if I'm missing anything from these 5 points that we put together, because we're starting, before we start our conversation, with what most businesses overlook. And number one is most businesses, at least from our conversations, they don't follow up fast enough with leads. And that's something that people just don't understand. Maybe you do have a product and you don't receive leads, so that's equivalent. You get people maybe on the chat asking about things about the product. And if you don't have the right AI automation or a good chat, you might lose that client. And we know that if we respond at least 1 minute, the insight 1 minute after they reach out, we have some insights that can increase conversions by over 300%. And most people just don't pay attention to their abandoned cart or lead generation. And that's something that most people look. These are just small, slightly changes that business owners can make immediately and see better results. Number two, we do see that some of their websites that come our way they look like from 2008. And we know that a slow website, especially if you're on social media, if you're on Instagram, you don't want to get out of Instagram to go to a slow website. You immediately will lose the client. Another point that we found is that some of those clients rely on one platform to generate traffic, one platform only, and we see that increase. I don't know if you've seen that or you got that offer, Jonathan, from some vendors, but we see people just offering, just Google, advertise in Google or advertise in Meta, and you'll get X amount of money, and that's just because it's their offering. But in reality, they will be losing a lot of other opportunities if you just focus on one platform. We did have a client who, it was a former client. He actually had his strategy just based on Facebook, and he was making over $10 million that year. But then Google changed the algorithm and the sales, he lost over 50% of the sales the year after. So it's dangerous if you just rely on one platform. Then there's a lot of clients and a lot of customers that actually ignore customer retention. They are always talking about acquiring new customers, when we know that on average, the real customers, they spend 60% or more than new customers. And worst of all is that they market without tracking ROI. That's been probably 80% about that. 80% of people who come into our business, they don't know how much are they getting in return for every dollar they spend. So our team actually puts in place tracking codes where we know exactly after someone clicks on an ad if they purchase or not, how much is that dollar amount. So these are just 5 things that we put together. I don't know if you guys have, if you think I missed anything on this, but I'm gonna just pause there to see if you guys have any other bullet point that you think people are just ignoring from businesses.
I think there's just so much there. We could go through each one because we could have a week-long conversation about each point that you brought up.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, I think we just go through and break apart and put back together each part of that outline.
So let's talk to that. What would be so with those bullet points, I basically this is a bonus insight. We always start if you guys have a database in your business, a legit database that are from real customers. We're not talking about a cold list that you have
Mhm.
inside your CRM. If you do have a database, we always start by leveraging that database because that's retention marketing. You can see a great outcome when you use retention marketing, but we know that's not the first step. That will be something that will drive you and generate results immediately. But we know the strategies first, and that's when Jason comes in. Maybe you can elaborate more on what is the right business strategy with those bullet points that our clients are and customers are missing.
Yeah, well, we're here to talk about, business wants 50% growth. I mean, that's again, like, where are you in that journey? What type of business? So that's a loaded kind of thing. So is the business, do they already have clients? Are they a startup? So that would be the first thing is like, what is growth? Because if they're making $1 and we get them to $100 or 1 million to 10 million, there, there's a wide range. So you have to know where you are in your business journey, and that involves a lot of things like, do you have personnel? Do you have staff? Do you have leadership? So you can't just arbitrarily slap a goal onto something and make it happen. It's great to 10x your goals. I do come from like a 10x methodology. I've worked with Grant Cardone, but you have to be practical in the sense that you have to understand where you are as a business, and strategy is a huge part of that. You can just pay money and hire people, but if it's not the right strategy, if you don't have the right positioning for a business,
Yep.
then it's not going to work. And that's where that we've seen. We work with Jonathan. He's an executor, right? He's in charge of a lot of things, and you can have the best idea and it can be beautiful, but if it's not executed correctly, then it will fail. So those are the kind of things that I look at. So we can keep going, but I'll pass the ball for that.
No, I agree with you guys 100% about a lot of the bullet points that you brought up. First off, diversifying how you're reaching, your guest. It's not just, one media. It can't just be magazines. It can't just be, like you said, Meta or Instagram. It has to be in a culmination of everything because everybody gets their information and gets everything coming to them from different resources now. We're so diverse and there's so many avenues in
Right.
order to get a hold of your guests that you have to try to put your fingers in all those different, pies because everybody is getting their information from somewhere different. And so being able to, expand out and try to hit all those different places to make sure that everybody sees your brand, sees what you offer, and sees the value in what your product is very important in order to grow your business. And another point, back to when you were talking about, just retention, everybody does want, oh, we need new guests, we need new people in the
Yeah.
building. But those repeat people, those repeat guests who are constantly coming in and enjoying your brand, enjoying your services, those are the people who are going to grow it because they're going to naturally, and this goes back, decades to probably hundreds of years, where that word to mouth of them bringing new
Mm.
people in is because of offering a great experience. It's not going to be just because, oh, you're there. They have plenty of options to entertain themselves, to feed themselves, to do whatever they want. But you have to make yourself different and set yourself apart as a business in order to get that repeat customer to keep coming back because they understand the value of what you offer. And that comes with the people aspect of it, from the leaderships to the staff is, are they welcome? Do they feel appreciated when they come in? And my adage is the juice worth the squeeze? I use that in my own life, and I want to apply that to the business of, is what we're doing worth what the guests are getting out of it? They're spending their hard-earned money to come to our parks and have fun with their kids and to be entertained and kind of get away from the hustle and bustle of everyday life. We need to deliver on that. We need to deliver a great guest experience so that way people are enjoying themselves and they understand the value of what we offer and us as a business, and how that can keep coming back for them because, hey, we want to do birthday parties with you. We want to do memberships with you. We want to have special events. We want to be the number one spot for people to come and enjoy themselves and bring their family in a safe, fun, and clean environment.
Yeah, that's great
Yeah.
feedback, especially for our viewers. If you guys are in New Orleans, just visit Altitude Trampoline Park. You can see the passion that is behind all of these services. When I went to one of these parks with my kids when they were younger, we just don't know what's behind the scenes, what's involved. And let me ask you this. So you talk to a lot of people. I know that not all your customers tells you exactly where they experience the brand first, but
Mhm.
those bullet points, how many of those customers have shared with you, hey, I know about you because I saw you on Facebook, or word to mouth? What's the most common thing they tell you?
I mean, a lot of the times, it's if it wasn't just because they're in the area, it's usually because of Google or Facebook or some kind of online social media platform. Because that's what we do, right? We're on there. The ad pops up. You're like, oh yeah, hey, little Susie's birthday's coming up. We should find something fun to do where it's not just the usual cake and ice cream, and you're not going to hit a pinata much anymore. It's hey, let's go out there and be active and jump and bring their friends in and have fun. And so when they see those small little blips, those small little advertisements that come up on their Google or comes up on their Facebook or Instagram, it's kind of that reminder of, yeah, we got things coming up. We want to make sure we're hitting that. So I would say it's a combination of everything. I don't have any one specific area where like, oh, hey, 50% of our guests that are coming in are getting all their information from Google, or 25% are coming from Facebook. It's everything. And that talks to just what we were speaking about, which is you have to diversify how you're attracting your guests in the first place, because everybody's getting their information and seeing what your brand is and their first experience with it from so many different sources.
I
Yeah, that's a
agree.
good point too. Like one thing I took away, and I think business owners need to hear, is that they create a robust strategy to attract new customers, and they spend a lot of their advertising budget to get new people in. And then that 20% that left over, getting existing customer, keeping the existing customers, that retention, they only put 20% of effort on that. And it requires a different process. It requires a different strategy. And honestly, in a community-based business like an Altitude, like an entertainment center, that word of mouth, in a way, it almost should be the opposite, is that the really sophisticated strategies and really thoughtful things to get that community engaged, to keep them there and to keep talking. That is, it's right now it's upside down or just disproportional. And that's where a lot of the budget could go and the effort could go as well. Because again, if everyone of all your members, Jonathan, left your park, that would be a problem, because then they would talk about, hey, we
Definitely.
don't want to go there anymore. So the new customers are important, but it is a location-based, community-based business where people talk and they say, yeah, it's fun. We should go there for our birthday. They'll recommend, and that word of mouth at grassroots is not going away.
I mean, and as far beyond just marketing as well, it's also with your culture within the building and your team. It all starts with hiring the right people, finding the right attitudes, training correctly, everybody being engaged with the guests. It's not about, oh, hey, I need somebody who can work Friday, Saturday, Sunday during parties. I need somebody who can work Friday, Saturday, Sunday that cares and enjoys being around the guests and wants to give them that great
100%.
experience. It's about having buy-in and what you're doing. I can go out there and hire 50 people for the position, but how many of those are actually going to care about what they're doing and about the services that they're giving to our guests? That's the biggest point that we try to separate ourselves in any business. And I've always had this model for my professional career is we want people that care, because you can teach people anything, but you can't teach people how to care. That's something that you have to find in the individual. And that goes with just how you want to get repeat business. You want to retain those employees. You want to make sure that they feel welcome and they feel that you appreciate them and you're showing them that, hey, we want to work with you because of how great of a job you do. Me, my job, yeah, I have to do a lot of paperwork and administrative stuff, but it's all my staff who makes the parks what they are. It's kind of a joke, but I say, I'm just the coffee pot. You're the beans. All right. You're what makes us special. You're what makes everything drive. I'm just help facilitate things and try to find the right people that come together and work in that team dynamic that make our parks enjoyable.
I agree. Jump into we had a couple of questions regarding operational pillars, and I think the caring is one of them. That's something that we actually discuss and is out there because we see it on the media. We need it on the government. We need people that care. Someone said that. I'm not gonna say which party, so we don't get into trouble. But we do know we do have the same philosophy in our agency. We do work with passionate people, people just like you, Jason and Paul. People we do care about what we do. Sometimes we're just trying to figure out what the best strategy, and we spend hours trying to find it. When people that don't care, they just write something and they just go home. So
Yeah,
I
it
think
has to
that's
be more than just money. It has to be more than just financial incentive. It has to be a purpose, a why behind it. And yeah, I mean, I've seen that trickles down from the top leadership. And again, it's a two-way street. You have to find the people that have the right attributes. They have to care, like Jonathan is saying. But it's also if the leadership it's a reflection, right? If the leadership doesn't instill that, doesn't lead from the front with that, then it's really rare for it to be there. And we have come across organizations where it's not there, and we see the difference. We see the reviews, we see the tank in sales. So that's one thing to consider, is that you want more growth in revenue. Well, you have to practice what you preach, and you have to care about your customers, not just what they can do for your bottom line, your pocketbook, your ROI, but truly, like, that passion element is more than just the business. It's like how you're serving the community.
Yeah, we're gonna touch the execution part and some operational. We have some operational questions for Jonathan. Before we jump in there, what would you say, Jason? Just talking strategy, and this comes, Jonathan and Paul. We actually we did a post on LinkedIn, and someone commented positive about this post. We were saying that marketing is not your only way to increase sales. There are a lot of things you have to put together before you start your marketing. And you hit a couple of points there, Jonathan, when you mentioned your team and these things that are not tangible, really. You're looking for people who cares. So the comment from that person on LinkedIn, it was like, we just paused our marketing, changed our strategy because it wasn't working, and then we started marketing. So to that point, Jason, what would you say to our viewers? What would be the right business strategy? How do you get there?
Yeah, it's funny because a lot of people, especially business owners that have money, they rush to invest, and you can have crappy marketing, really the worst marketing. And if you have a great product, then you'll have some results. Great product or service, you'll have some great results with crappy marketing. But if you have a not a good product or service and have excellent, amazing marketing, it will not save that. And a lot of folks don't understand that. They think that, oh, okay, well, I've got a great product or service, and they really don't. They maybe hope they do. They really don't. And they burn a lot of budget because they're not willing to look in the mirror and say, okay, wait a minute, do I really have these pieces in place? So that's the thing, is that marketing cannot save a bad business. And a lot of people try to do that. So that's what, before I invest, and again, it's coming from a place of iteration and agile mindset in the way that we do things in sprints. We don't wait a year to figure out stuff, right? We wait 2 weeks to iterate in sprints, and that is really helpful because we can test those things. We always want to reflect, like, hey, is our product good? Are customers liking it? Are we doing the right things? Then we apply budget. It's an evolving cycle of iteration. So again, always have to be coming back and saying, is the product right? Is the service right? Where can we correct things? Because any level of marketing that you put on something that's like really great in those areas, then it's going to do well. The best is when you have both pieces working really well. And we see that it's night and day between the clients we work with that have a great product and service and then excellent marketing. Then it's unlimited growth, way more than 50% growth.
Yeah, I agree. With that being said, basically after the strategy is done, maybe Jonathan, you can help us here because you already started talking about operational. So what would be your business operation pillars for a business like the entertainment centers that you run? What are those pillars? Because you actually shared with us that it took you some time to have the right team. Are we talking about the infrastructure, or what other things are business owner missing that they can improve?
Well, family entertainment sector is a very special place. It is no matter what part of the sector you're in or what you're doing, it's the people business. You have to be able to relate to people. You have to be able to relate to families. And once again, that's going to come with safety, because everybody cares about the children. Everybody cares about the family. So you have to have safety first. You also have to care about what the product is and what you're giving out and value, because families are out there, their mom and dad are working for the most part. Everybody's going to school. There's only a limited amount of time that they get to truly spend together. So you need to make sure that you're making happy memories for everybody that's coming in for you. It's not just, and I mentioned this before, people can go anywhere and experience anything. They can go to any restaurant they want. They can go to any park they want. They can do any kind of recreational thing that they want to do. They chose you. So you make sure they're getting the most value out of that. I'm not saying that it's least expensive, but value. The return on investment for
Yep.
the family values. That's the big part for them, is making sure that you're giving those to the families and the guests that come in. Integrity. If you have something, you stand by it, you follow through with it. Respect. That's another one. You respect your staff, you respect your guests, you respect your brand and what you're offering. Again, I know this is all kind of symbiotic and it goes back and forth, but it really is. Everything works together in making sure you have that environment and culture that your business is providing a great product for anybody who's coming in. It doesn't matter what it is, even in the restaurant business or sales or retail, you have to have that kind of mentality to run your businesses where you have buy-in, you care about it, because that's what people come for. I mean, just like Jason said a minute ago with marketing, yeah, you can have the best marketing team and everybody sees your product every 5 minutes, no matter what social media, TV, magazine, or anything that they pick up. If your product or the place that they're going to visit is not on par, then why would they come back? And that goes back
Yep.
to us having retention of guests and people coming back for you. I know that I have certain brands that I love and certain restaurants and certain places that I like to go, and they keep getting my money because I like to go there and try new things because they took care of me. They remembered my name. They greeted me when I came in. They said, thank you. They said, hey, hope you guys have a great week. We'll see you next Thursday. Whatever the case may be, you personalize those experiences for your guests because you actually care. It makes the world of difference. They're not just a number. They are the people who pay our bills and make us who we are as a brand.
Love it. I think you brought the experience word as part of your answer, and it got us to the second bullet, is how do you get from customer service to customer experience? And I tell you, you brought in the restaurants saying hello, good morning, yes, I can help you. That's customer experience, customer service. But customer experience goes beyond a little bit more. How do you advise your team to go from customer service to provide a good experience?
Well, once again, you have to personalize it and kind of internalize these things. What would I want if I was going somewhere? And for each one of our guests, everybody is very unique and very different. And it's, what do they want? What do they get out of this experience? And you start that by having a conversation with the people that are coming through your doors. Talk to them, get to know them, especially in our sector with, all the kids that come in and the families, is getting to know that your members, who they are, what they do, what schools they go to, and having those conversations with them. We get to, in real time, watch these kids grow up, and they're a part of our family as well. That's a part
Right.
of our brand and our family, and we're kind of a part of theirs. We have certain guests that come in and drop off birthday cards to some of the team and managers, or give gifts when they're graduating. I mean, that's a community involvement. Those are people who
Yeah.
care about not only our brand or our business, or we vice versa care about them and their families. It's a community interacting with each other. And that all starts with speaking with each other, getting to know each other. Once again, these are not numbers. This is not a dollar sign walking through our door. These are our new family members that are coming in, and you welcome them as such.
Yeah, it's not a 9 to 6. It's more than that. It's a community. I love that.
Mhm.
And so to touch that point, and we have Paul here, because we were talking about multi-channels, and how do you transfer that experience? Sometimes we see the work that people like Jonathan do, that they are excellent at managing their parks and the locations, and we try to mimic that experience online, because people nowadays, everyone is on their smartphone. So we're trying to get to those people. And the reason we mention multi-channel campaign is because of one of the bullet points that we brought earlier in this conversation. Some people just focus on one platform. They think just that the users from that one platform will drive the right amount of clients. We always recommend a multi-channel campaign. We do know that in order for a customer to convert to your business, and I put myself on the customer shoes. If I'm going to buy something, I don't just click on an ad and buy it right away. I do some research. Maybe I saw an ad, I click on it, then look at Google, see the reviews. So those right there, I see 3 touch points. So we always recommend adding a multi-channel campaign to amplify the experience, not only before the customer goes to your location, but right after. We also retarget those people and let them know, hey, do we have more value? And we try to amplify that experience. With that being said, we have Paul from our media division here. what are some hints that and tips that you can share from the media side where we can leverage that experience into an online platform?
Yeah, like Jonathan was saying, something that's still huge that we like sometimes pretend like it's dead, but it's still very much alive, is that word of mouth. And in the digital age, the word of mouth is like sharing the post.
Yeah,
Like you
true.
send it to your friends. Oh, I like this. Send it. Oh, there's a deal. You send it to them. And then for the multiple channels, like you were saying, you want those different touch points. So like they'll see it on your feed and then they click on your feed and they can see your page. Oh, that looks fun. Oh, they have this there. They have these different experiences. And then they'll see it again on your story and then on a different platform. So you're just reaching those multiple channels to get those different touch points. You're building like trust and recognition, and then eventually you're going to get that customer.
I like that. So social media is the new word of mouth. Is amplified.
Yeah, sharing posts definitely.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah,
amplified word of mouth. I also like what Jonathan mentioned. I took a note. Uh, basically the ROI is a two-way street. I wasn't looking at it this way. We always look at the ROI for you, the client, but it's a two-way street because what's the ROI for the customer? So that's great. And these multi-channel campaigns that we put in place, especially for retargeting, they can actually add more value after they leave because if they stay connected. For example, Altitude, I know we have memberships there that they can come back. We have events for members itself. Um, for people who are in New Orleans and want to experience altitude at your parks, what would be your recommendation? What are the best days of the week? And yeah, what's the park? What's the difference between the parks that you manage?
I always say that every day is the best day of the week. So you just come on in, whenever, because everybody's schedules are so crazy and hectic that you don't know when your availability is. So when you have those moments, I mean, grab the kids and come on in. That's the best part is, we're open every day of the week. During the weekdays, we're open up at 10 a.m. On the weekends, on Saturday, we open up at 9, open up at 11 on Sunday. And we're open into the evening time for when the sun's going down. You still have a spot to come after school, after band practice, after dance, whatever the case may be. Or hey, if the kids are at school and they're playing and you just want to come burn off some energy, it's still a fun place to come. Like I wish that 20 years ago that I had a place like this that I could have gone to because I
But
would have been absolutely having a blast all the time, jumping into giant airbags, going down zip lines, jumping on trampolines. Like it's just a fun experience. Get some friends together, come play dodgeball. Mandeville Park, we have golf simulators. Why go out there and mess with the heat and the humidity and the bugs and everything like that when hey, just get a membership or just rent one of the bays for an hour or two, bring some friends and comes, swing the ball. And if you're not into golf, there's football, there's hockey, there's zombie attacks where you're throwing items at zombies on a virtual screen and kind of being interactive and playing. So like there's so many different activities that you can do at both of our parks. And once again, one is over in Slidell, one is in Mandeville, so right there on the North Shore. So you're 30 minutes away from the New Orleans. It gets you out of the hustle and bustle and gets you into a fun place where you yourself or your family and your friends can come have a great time.
that's great. Yeah, and the golf part is for parents, teenagers,
Oh
sometimes
yeah, anybody.
anybody. Sometimes kids have younger siblings, and then the older teenager they want to just go home because they are tired. But now you have the
Right.
golf course; they can play there. The arcades are great. That's awesome on Mandeville. And
Yeah, it's
Slidell,
it's actually funny. If I don't mean to interrupt you, but we have people that ask all the time, "Oh, how old do you have to be?" or "What's the cutoff age?" And it's like there
yeah.
is no cutoff age. We literally have a group of ladies that come in, and they're over 60 years old, and they come in and jump. This is their form of exercise when they come in and do it. They
Oh
come in, they
wow,
go to
really?
trampolines, they jump around, it loosens you up. Like they're having fun while they're doing it also, and they don't bring in any of the kids. It's just them getting a little workout in, getting busted a little sweat, and kind of just getting their heart rates going. And before they start the day, they come in first thing in the morning and have fun. So it's once again, it's for all ages. It
Gotta
doesn't
tell
have
you,
to be
yeah.
just for kids. Like you come in, we actually had a couple come in yesterday. They were 42 and 44 years old. They didn't have any kids with them. They're just like, hey, how often do you get 40-year-olds that come in here and want to jump? I'm like, you'd be surprised. We get a lot of people that come in that just want to have fun because fun doesn't have an age limit.
Yeah, I'm no doctor, but I know that that's one of the best exercise for older people, jumping in trampolines, because it activates something in your body that once you activate that, especially if you do it early in the morning, it will activate that the rest of the day for you. And it
Oh
will
yeah,
accelerate
cardio and core
yeah,
core muscle building. Yeah.
yeah, and it accelerates your metabolism so you can lose more weight too.
That's
That's
it. Hey,
exciting.
hey, health fitness people, come on out.
Exactly. So to close, I'm just going to share a couple of things. Thank you, Jonathan, for sharing your
Oh,
experience
thank you.
and everything else. And to our panel, to close, I'm just going to share and give a case study that we have, and we're very excited. This is basically a ROAS, but it's a translation of ROI. Return of investment here is on Google Ads is return of ad spend. So we're very happy with this is one of the locations at altitude that we actually have over 2,000%. The reason this is so amazing is that even the Google staff actually called us and they were like, how come you have such a high percentage? You should have a smaller percentage. When they saw the numbers, they realized, oh my God, this campaign is working great. And I'm going to put it live so you can see that that's the type of campaigns that we run, especially when we were talking about the experience. Uh, we're using a multi-channel campaign. This is, as you can see, this is another date range, so that the percentage stay active. And the importance of this is that we're using high intent keywords for people who are actually searching for your type of business. If I'm looking for, in case of Jonathan Sparks, I'm looking for indoor family fun. These are high intent keywords. That means that people are actually searching for your product or service. So these are the type of keywords besides the retention strategy that we put in place. These are more for acquisition strategies, but this works. And then you integrate this. And the good thing is that when we have a great marketing in place, and when we have people like Jonathan with the great operational strategy, everything works well for the location, for the customer. And that's why some companies are just focused either on sales 100%, or then they just jump to one platform. Then they just don't do anything at all, and they just think word of mouth is what it is. So I appreciate your time, guys. We'll keep sharing our experience and adding value to the community. And is there's anything else you guys want to share before we close?
I know. I appreciate you guys inviting me to be on. Once again, Altitude Mandeville, Altitude Slidell, right outside of New Orleans. It's a great time for anybody and it's fun for the whole family.